They know that he cares. They know they're going to get fired up and ready to go. Rocky is so good at this that he makes me feel at times like I'm his height and about to go play basketball. So without further ado, please welcome Governor Bashir's Senior Advisor, Rocky Adkins.
Well, let's start our youth fired up and ready to go. I'm honored to be here today, and today is a special day. 36 years ago today, a 26-year-old boy from the left-hand fork of Middle Fork was elected to be the state representative from the 99th District to represent Elliott, Lawrence, and Boyd County. We ran a hard race. We gave it all we had. And folks, I know something about elections. I've been on the ballot many times. I'm 17-1, and the one that I lost, I gave it all I had, and that guy that gave me that one just left here a minute ago. What I want to say quickly is, these candidates have given it all they got. They've been on the ground, they've gotten their message out, they've laid their game plan, they're trying to implement it up to the last day. Early voting is going on as we stand here today, and I can tell you right now, this election lays in your hands now. It lays in your hands to make sure you carry on the good word that these candidates have spread all across the areas that they run in. It is up to us now. It is in our hands to make sure we do our part. These candidates cannot do it on their own. They can do everything that they can do, but at the end of the day, the folks in this room and others that hear our voice here today, it is in your hands to make sure we elect these Democratic candidates, send them to the House, send them to the Senate, send them to Congress, and let's take this Commonwealth back. What do you say? So that first campaign we ran, I don't know if we knew what we were doing or not. All I know is we knew we had to lay it on the ground, leave it on the court, give it everything we had as a candidate and our immediate family. But at the end of the day, it was those people who believed in our message and believed in our leadership and believed in what we were going to do, not only for that legislative district, but what we were going to try to do for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And let me tell you what that army of folks did, that grassroots organization. For a boy that turned 26 years old that day, they got on the telephone, they knocked on the doors, they got in the trenches, they did everything they could to talk to their friends and their neighbors, and they made sure that they did what? They went to the poll and they voted. Let me tell you what, folks, when Democrats vote, Democrats win, and we got to make sure these last 4 days to build that momentum. To build that momentum going into Election Day on November the 8th and carry these good incumbents that serve in Frankfort. Our governor needs help in Frankfort. He is providing strong leadership. He is recognized as the most popular Democrat governor across these United States of America. Don't you believe he deserves a little help in Frankfort? Talk's cheap. Commitment to do everything that we can do to make sure we send good people to Frankfort, Kentucky, to make sure we send good people at the local level, to the city, to the county, to the state, to the federal level. Let me tell you something, folks. This governor is recognized for his leadership because he has courage, because he has a backbone, and because he's willing to provide that good, strong leadership with compassion, but also with toughness. Yep. I can tell you right now, yes, I served in the legislature for 33 years of my life. And yes, I believe in legislative independence. But let me tell you something, folks. I also agree and believe in separation of powers. And I believe the governor ought to be the governor, and the legislature ought to be the legislature. First floor is the executive. The second floor is the judicial, and the third floor is the legislative. Let me tell you something. When I was in the legislature, I stayed on my floor. I stayed in my lane. Let this governor lead. He is providing the leadership, the job creation, the economy that our people need all across Kentucky, spreading that prosperity. So I would tell you right now, and if you believe, from an old cancer survivor like me, if you believe quality health care is important, then let me hear you say yes. If you believe, like me, you're fired up and ready to go. If you believe in providing the infrastructure across this state, if you believe that we ought to stand up for public education and stand up for those teachers in that classroom and stand up for these working families across Kentucky, then let's make the last few days happen, and let's build that momentum to send these Democrats to Frankfort, Kentucky, and let's do our part on the ground, in the trenches, door to door, eyeball to eyeball, every avenue that we can make it happen. I will tell you this, I'm fired up and ready to go. How about you?
So really quickly, we are in a great place today, and so as Democrats, we know. I'm gonna add on to something Rocky said. We know when Democrats vote, Democrats win. We also know that when Democrats win, Kentucky wins. Kentucky families win. Kentucky small businesses win. One of those small businesses we're in today. So let's give a warm Kentucky Democratic welcome, or thank you to the folks at Pivot. Thank you so much, Pivot. Next up is someone who needs no introduction, but she is my son's favorite, sorry Rocky, but is my son's favorite basketball coach. And now I've got two of them, so sorry Aunt Jacqueline, you're gonna get multiple phone calls now. Jacqueline Coleman is an educator, is a parent, is our state's lieutenant governor, but more than that, she is Kentucky through and through. So please welcome Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman.
Look at this beautiful group in here. Let me tell you all something. Your voice is your vote, and it is time to get loud. It is time to get loud, especially here where we can support these wonderful candidates. And let me tell you something. Governor Beshear and I, if anybody knows how important elections are, it certainly is us, because we sat on election night until we won this state by 1.5 votes per precinct across the state of Kentucky. That means every dollar, every door, every conversation that you have made a difference in the trajectory of the future of Kentucky. You are the reason that we stand where we are today, and we will never forget that. That Governor Beshear is the most popular Democratic governor in the entire country. Give it up for yourself. You are the reason that I am the only Democratic lieutenant governor in the entire South. Did you know that? We made history that night, and we've made history every day since. From saving lives to building the kind of economy that we know our kids and grandkids need. That is what we are here to do. And while, like Rocky was talking about, we've got our names on the ballot, but let me tell you something, it's not just about the people who put their names on the ballot. It's about their families. Let's give it up for the families of all the candidates. And it's a sacrifice, and it's all to make sure that we have the right people in the right seats to serve Kentucky. It's not just the name on the ballot. It is what that person is going to do to help make your life better. It's not just the letter by their name on the ballot. It is what are they going to do to help your family and your community and your school and your local government This is what's at stake. This is what is on the ballot in just a few days. And I might be your son's favorite coach, but I know one thing for sure. We are in the fourth quarter, y'all. We are in the fourth quarter, and it is time to make sure that every stone goes turned. We have to make sure that we are talking to everybody. We're getting out and we're putting ourselves at the polling place. We are showing up for the people that we want to show up for us. Because as Rocky says, it matters who sits in those seats in Frankfort, Kentucky. It matters who sits in those seats in Lexington, Kentucky. And as the governor has built the brightest economy that this state has ever seen, and that is what we're moving towards, the one way that we make sure that we sustain that economy, that we grow, that we keep those businesses here, that we keep them investing, is that we acknowledge and respect and prioritize that the future of Kentucky's economy is in our classrooms today. Yeah. That is where they are. And as the highest elected teacher in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, I'm going to tell you one thing. I know Reggie Thomas would like to have a teacher in the Senate with him. Absolutely. And one lady that I know stands in those trenches every single day, and fights for my kids, for your kids, for all of our schools, and is absolutely committed to building the best public education system that Kentucky has ever seen, is the state representative you're going to keep here in Fayette County, and that's Cheryl. At home. So when I say we need people in seats that are going to build the kind of education system we want, I'm not just saying that as a teacher or as the highest elected teacher in Kentucky. I'm saying that as Evelyn's mom. That is what's at stake, and I know who I want fighting for my kids and my classrooms to show up in Frankfort. That is the only way, folks, we're going to build the kind of economy that Governor Beshear has set up for us for the foreseeable future. So I'm going to say it one more time. Your voice is your vote, and it is time to get loud, Lexington. The people that we are fighting for are too important, and what we're up against is too dangerous. And you remember that when you go to the polls, when you vote for the people that you believe in. But I'm going to introduce somebody that I believe in, somebody that I know we need to keep here in Lexington, and we need to continue to make sure that she goes to the floor and speaks for you and your family and this community, and that is Representative Cheryl Stevens.